So we're taking a look at the string height on our Guild 12 string guitar. At the 12th fret, looks like we're about 4 to 4.5 millimeters at the 12th fret here, which is pretty darn high. And I have this tuned down half a step, so it's not full tension on the neck. So we're going to first work on the truss rod. I do not think I'm going to work on the saddle no matter what right now, not in this video. Now, I have read reviews about this Guild 12 string before that said, you need to set it up and then it plays beautifully. It actually sounds beautiful when it's tuned up all the way, from the factory. It's got a great sound. It's just very high tension, even with these, I guess, light or somewhat light strings that come with it. And a lot of people do use super light strings. They'll tune it down a half step or a full step. Like I said, we've tuned this down a half step, and they'll just put a capo over it, and they'll just play it down a couple frets, and that's how they play. But we hopefully we got some wiggle room here to take it down, and a lot of people say get the height similar to just a regular acoustic, however you're comfortable playing it, and sometimes it does require shaving the saddle, like right here. Now they give you a super oversized Allen key, and believe it or not, this side is the short side. This guy goes way into the neck here too, and it's very hard to get the nut, to touch it, to actually get it to lock in place. I finally did it. I thought I was turning it loosely, and it wasn't turning at all. I just never got it in place. Now it's right there, so let's just see if we can turn it here a little bit and hopefully not break a string here, and we'll check out the height again. Try to get it in the realm of 2.5 if we can millimeters. Again, this is not easy to get this thing to lock into place. And another little turn here. So after a few hours, we got it to around 3 at the 12th fret, maybe a little bit higher, somewhere between 3 and 3.5. And believe it or not, that is actually with the neck all the way clockwise. So there is still a bow in here, a forward bow. So with the tension, even at a half step, tuned down half step, there's still a lot of tension on the strings causing a forward bow. How do I know this? I have a slotted straight edge here. So basically you put a light source behind the neck area there, and you see if you can see light or where it's bowed out, and space. And there is a little space there. So if we want to get it closer to 2.5 millimeters, I guess there's nothing else you can do except shave the saddle down. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to get a different saddle. I don't want to mess up this one. If we get the level of, sanding it down, and the level is slightly off, and it messes up, the ability to pick up, all the strings properly. I think these are real bone nuts in this guy that's on this. So I need to get a new saddle and try to shave it down, sand it down a little bit lower than this one, and see if we can get close to that 2.5 millimeter without any kind of buzzing. Hopefully we don't have to raise the nut or anything like that. I think in the Yamaha, when I went really far down, when I shaved the saddle slot, it started creating a buzzing at the nut, so I had to raise the nut. But we're not done working on that guy either. Playability wise, it definitely improved, being able to get, hold the strings down, in the middle, and kind of back portion here, you know, by the body. But if we can get it to 2.5 millimeters, that would be even better action, better, easier playability. Still going to be a little difficult to get it up here, but you know, you can hear. Yep, definitely some room for improvement. The one issue I have with capoing and just tuning down, especially if you go down a whole step, is that you have to, or should I say, you do not get the sound of the bone nut, the sustain, tone, whatever you want to call it. So you're relying on the metal frets for your tone when you do that. But 12 string players, you know, often do this. You know, it's just something that, you know, probably most 12 string players have to deal with. You know, it's a part of being a 12 string player, I guess. There is an extreme amount of tension on the neck, you know, when you have a 12 string. So, you know, the tension isn't just on your fingers and your finger, you know, the pressure from your wrists and fingers and fingertips. Pressure is also on the neck, you know, on the whole guitar, I guess. So people tune it down to not just make it easier to play, but like I said, also to save their neck, you know. Neck resets are not cheap. I think usually they cost more than the cost of a new 12-string guitar or 6-string guitar, whatever it is. So people want, you know, their guitars to last, you know. Even though this is, you know, this is a Guild, it's also one of their cheaper lines from China. It's not like a $3,000 or $4,000 guitar. It's like a, you know, 500 or 550 or whatever. Add a hard case for another 200, you know, a plastic hard case versus like the wood cases. Another $200 for that. And if you decide you want a different brand of strings and a professional setup, you know, from a luthier, then it's probably $1,000, you know, you'll have in this guy. So I mean, you don't want something that's just going to last 2 years and then the neck be all screwed up. Anyway, as I said, we're not going to work on the saddle here, but maybe in the next video for this guitar, we will try to order a new saddle or a couple new saddles. Bone density is always seems to be a problem with getting the pickup. You know, this is a acoustic electric. With getting the pickup to transfer the vibrations properly through bone, which has variable density, you know. It could be, you know, just different levels of density or air or whatever you call it in the bone that may not make the string transfer vibrations to the pickup as well as all the other strings. You know, I've dealt with it on multiple guitars now, including ones that I have not shaved the bone saddle for, or the bridge, you know, the saddle slot in the bridge or anything. I got a fender that we just shaved a new bone saddle for, and it just had a dead spot. You know, we did nothing wrong. So probably just gonna either try again. Maybe, I mean, bone saddles aren't super expensive. You could always buy 3 or 4 and hope that one of them works right, or just put the original plastic saddle back in it. All right, guys, take care.